has to be like that. That means no one should be dominant and no one should be recessive. To show that, see, this is following from I don't know how many years, but without any telescope and all, they could able to analyze this. Okay, and there is a one Panchatantra story I want to tell. It is again, it is related to the biotechnology. There will be two parrots. This is a Panchatantra story actually. There will be two parrots, baby parrots. It will fall from the nest. So in the forest. So what happens is one parrot will be taken by the hunter, and the other parrot will be taken by the sadhu. Okay. So when this is happening, the god will be seeing that. Then one day God wants to see what happened to those parrots. Then what the god will do is he will go to the hunter's house, okay, and ask for the water. Whenever he enters the hunter's house, the parrot which is grown up there, it will say, "Hey, who are you? Why did you come here? We will not give water and all." That rudely it just talks. Okay, that parrot will say, "Please come, sir. Please sit. What can I do?" So it will talk very politely. So what this indicates is, see, you know about the genotype. Genotype of both of those parrots are same. That means both are from the same parent, but the phenotype differs. That means, what is a phenotype? The combination of genotype and the environmental factors. So you might have the same genes, but the environment is responsible for that to express it or not. Okay, so many people, they always think that my father did not study well, so I did not study well. My father is fat, so I am fat. My father has this disease, so I will have that disease. So this is always, you people should understand, genotype always, for the expression, it depends on the environmental factors. If you follow the same environment as your father did, definitely those genes will get expressed. So everything might be gene, might be hereditary, but thing is the expression depends on you. Okay, so many people, they whatever they say finally that it is because of hereditary. Okay, so the hereditary genes can be suppressed by varying the environmental factors. So how could they study all these things? Correct? Without the telescope, they could tell about the star. Without knowing the genes and without knowing there's some characteristics, how could they tell about the characteristics? And how could he do for this one, not medicinal plant? How could he search the medicinal plant in the forest? Okay, how could they do? It is because of the Jnana Chakshu, we call it as. Jnana is knowledge. Chakshu means eyes. In English, you can call it as third eye. But actually it is not exactly the third eye, but for the understanding purpose, you can say it as third eye, but in Sanskrit it is called as Jnana Chakshu. Okay, once this Jnana Chakshu is open, that means the enlightenment or the Jnana Chakshu is open, all the knowledge will enter into the body or the brain. So that is why we call Vedas as Apaurusheya. That means Vedas are not created by any human being. It was in the universe, okay? It was in the universe, then it has entered into the human brain, okay? All the mantras, all the Veda mantras, everything, it has entered into the human brain. It was not created by any of the human being. That is the advantage of Jnana Chakshu. So one more thing for this, one more example is, in Bangalore, there is a one person called Shatavadani Ganesh. Okay, Shatavadani Ganesh. Once the Jnana Chakshu opens, how our brain can work, you can see him. You just go to the YouTube and say Shatavadani Ganesh, and he has a art. Okay, he has a art. It is called as Avadhana art. Okay, Avadhana art. So it is very nice actually. If you could see that, just with one or two lines I'll explain, because it is very big. Avadhana or Ashtavadhana means there will be 8 people will be there to ask you the questions. Okay, so the Avadhani, okay, the person who is facing that, he has to answer all the questions. Okay, it will have mathematics, it will have the social studies, it will have the science, it will have the this one literature, everything, anything they can ask. Okay, but he has to answer. And one more thing you remember, that he should answer without writing. That means he will not have any pen and paper. Okay, for these 8 people, if they ask the question, that is called as Ashtavadana. Okay, if the same thing is done with 100 people, that is called as Shatavadana. That is why he is called as Shatavadani Ganesh. He is still living. Okay, he is in Bangalore. He is, I think, around 50 years of age. He does that Avadhana art in many languages. Hindi also he will do, Sanskrit he will do, English he will do, and Kannada he will do. And I don't know, he knows nearly 13 to 15 languages. You just see that in YouTube, you will see how our brain works if the Jnana Chakshu opens. Okay, so how it can be done? One way how the Jnana Chakshu can be opened is like using the yoga or yogic techniques. Okay, so what is yoga? What happens in the yoga? So in yoga, the mind, body, and the spirit, okay, it merges. When it merges, it leads to the self-realization or the enlightenment. Okay, so that is the time where the Jnana Chakshu opens. Okay, so let us understand what is yoga. So yoga is a practical and scientific, okay, which is result oriented, and it is not a religion. Okay, you should keep that thing in mind, that it is not a religion. It is not strict for any religion. It is for humanity. And what we do in yoga, it is self-inquiry and inner exploration. Okay, then all yoga practices have the same destination or goal. Then let us understand what is yoga means in the word meaning. The word meaning is, it is from the root word of Sanskrit root word yuj. Yuj means to join. What you will join? You will join from join body to mind, Jivatma to Paramatma, and individual selves to universal self. So first initial thing what happens is, our body and mind get joined. Okay, to make you understand this, if I have to give an example, for example, you might lock your from your home, you just go out, lock your door, and after traveling for 1 kilometer or a half kilometer, you will remember that whether did I switch off the fan or not, did I switch off the gas or not. So all these things will come. Why this will come is because when you are doing that particular work, your mind was not with you. So that is why in yoga what happens is that joining of this body and mind takes place. So when these two takes place, each and every work what you will do very perfectly. Okay. And also Vasishtha, Sage Vasishtha also defines yoga as yoga mana prashamanupaya. That means it is a technique to calm down your mind. Okay. See, for example, you just when you are in the highly tensed mood, okay, or when you are in tension, okay, just close your eyes and concentrate in your breath. When you concentrate in your breath becomes very normal and slow, and the mind also becomes calm. So that is what it says. Yoga mana prashamana upayaha. That means to calm down the mind, there is a technique which is yoga. And Swami Vivekananda also tells what is yoga. This is very important definition. Each and everybody should understand this properly. So what he says is, it's a means to compress one's own evolution into a single life or a few months or bodily existence. Otherwise, able to listening?
Yes.
Are you hearing, madam?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I thought it disconnected. Okay. So this definition is very important, which is given by Swami Vivekananda. Let us understand this definition. What he says, one's own evolution into single life or a few months or even a few hours of one's bodily existence. Otherwise, it will take millions of years of existence. Let me explain this with an example. Okay. See, when Swami Vivekananda went to Mahasamadhi, okay, he told that whatever the work till now I had done, it is sufficient for next 1,000 years. Okay, next 1,000 years, that much work, whatever has to be done. So that 1,000 years work I have already done. This is what told by Swami Vivekananda when he was entering to Mahasamadhi. So imagine, okay, so he has done 1,000 years of work. What do you mean by one Janma? That means one birth. Usually we calculate it as if he is a Shatayu, that means 100 years if he lives, that is called as one Janma. That means 100 years he can live. If I imagine if a normal person, okay, normal person like us, okay, if they want to do the same work which is done by Swami Vivekananda, it would have taken 10 Janmas. That means 100 years of work, okay, 10 Janmas, that means 1,000 years. Okay, so that means a normal person, if he has to do the same work, it would have taken 10 Janmas. But Swami Vivekananda could be able to finish it in one Janma. So what happened? One soul evolution into single life. It came to single life. Then also one more thing is, see, one Janma, what we say is, it is 100 years. But many people lived only for 39.5 years. That means what a normal person can work in 100 years of time, okay, he has finished it in 39 years of time and he has left. Okay, that means many years reduced to very less years. Okay, then after that, one more step you have to analyze. See, 39 years of age means he did not start everything at the age of 0. Okay, he started at the age of 28 years. Okay, so when he started at the age of 28 years, he had 11 years. In that 11 years, whatever a normal person can do it in 39 or 40 years, he has done it in 11 years. So many hours or many hours converted into few hours. So in one's bodily, if you concentrate on yoga, so this can be achieved. Okay. So finally, to the modern world, if I have to give what is yoga means, it is mainly the steadiness at the emotional level and balance of concentration and detachment at the mental level and homeostasis at the body level. So homeostasis means since you are a science student, you will understand. That means all your vital organs should be working properly, including your glands. Okay, so that is your homeostasis. So if you could able to follow the yogic way, definitely your homeostasis will be maintained. Okay, once you start doing yoga, okay, you will get siddhis. Okay, siddhis. It is called minor siddhis, and there are 8 major siddhis, and there are 64 minor siddhis. Once you are in a yogic way, see, for some of the examples I can say you is you'll see the 28th one, touch of distinct objects. Then conversant with the animal talk, you can understand the animal behavior as well as what the animal thinks. That can be understood. So like that, many minor siddhis will come. Okay, this is just a byproduct of your yoga. So seeing all this, what Patanjali did is, you might have heard Patanjali. Patanjali means it is not Baba Ramdev. The Patanjali, he says, who lived 5,000 years back. Okay, so what he did is, he formulated the yoga. He is not the father of yoga. He formulated the yoga to Ashtanga Yoga. That means he formulated. That means if you have to, anybody has to follow yoga means he has to follow this 8 steps. That is what the Ashtanga Yoga. So Ashtanga Yoga is the Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. This is Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga means 8 steps. It is not Anga. If I say Anga means, it is not the parts of the body. It is 8 steps for liberation. Okay, or 8 steps for salvation, or 8 steps for samadhi. Okay, that is why it is called as Ashtanga Yoga. So, in that Ashtanga Yoga, the first step is the Yama, which is very important for all the students as well as everybody who is in the yogic life. Okay, especially for the students and children, very important is this Yama and Niyama. So, what the Yama says is, Yama is the social discipline. Okay, so how you have to be in the society, that is told by the Patanjali or by Yama. So he gives up 5 points on that. So what are those 5 points? Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigraha, and Brahmacharya. Okay, Satya is you should be truthful to the society. Very important. Truthful to the society, and you should always should tell the truth. That is Satya. Then Ahimsa. That means you should not you should not pain. You should not give pain to anybody. Himsa means giving a pain to others, giving a pain to animals. Okay, so ahimsa means you should follow that. You should not give pain to anybody, even by talking also. Okay, by your words also you should not hurt others. Okay, that is ahimsa. Then asteya. Asteya is you should not steal in the society. That means usually we have the habit. That means if anybody has left something, means oh, let it be. It is with me. If you know, when you are in a child, okay, if you get by mistake, if you get a pencil from your friend, okay, by mistake to the house, usually that time parents used to say, hey, no, first you go and give it back. So that is what again they were used teaching that. That means asteya. That means it's not stealing. You should not steal anything. The other one is aparigraha. Aparigraha means it is hoarding. Parigraha means it is hoarding. That means accumulating the things. Okay. So, for example, the wealth. Simply accumulating. For example, I have already 2 bungalows. Again, another 2 bungalows for my children. Again, other 2 bungalows for their children. Again, other 2 bungalows for other children. So, like nearly for 10 generations, he will accumulate. So, you should not do that. That is aparigraha. Then, brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is not, it is not like that. It is only not marrying. Okay. Brahmacharya is the way how you see the other gender. That is also, it is a brahmacharya. So you should follow all these things when you are in the society. Society in the sense when you might be in the college, or when you might be in the home, or when you might be in the outside. Okay, that is society. So then the niyama, he says, niyama is the self-discipline. That means how I have to be individually. Individually how I have to be. So that is told by again by niyama. It is self-discipline. It is called. It is called. So again, 5 points he says: Shaucha, Santosha, Ishvara Pranidhana, Swadhyaya, and Tapas. See, this Shaucha is the cleanliness. Okay, cleanliness. So that means you should be neat. One thing is physically, other thing is mentally. When you are attending the class, mentally also you should be pure. Okay, that is Shaucha. Then Santosha. Santosha means, see, you should be happy that whatever you are learning. Okay, if you are not happy, definitely your teachers cannot make you happy. Okay, if you have the feeling that I am learning a new thing in the class, then only you can understand those things. If you are not happy, if you are not contentment, if you don't have a contentment, then definitely nobody can make you happy. So the happiness should come from inside. Then another one is Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara Pranidhana is surrendering ourselves to the Guru or the Ishvara or the God. That means whatever you will make us to learn, I will learn. Okay, with the discipline, I will learn. That is what Ishvara Pranidhana. Other one is Swadhyaya. Okay, Swadhyaya means learning, seeing about ourselves. Okay, seeing about ourselves. This is how we can do is every day night when you go for the sleep, before going to the sleep, just 5 minutes or 10 minutes before, close your eyes and just analyze what are all the good things I did today and what are all the bad things I did today. So just if you analyze those things, that becomes swadhyaya. And final thing is tapas, that is determination. You should have determination. If you don't have determination, it's of no use. Since Acharya Charaka had the determination, that is why he became father of Ayurveda. So if you have a determination, you have to determine yourself that tapas, you should do the tapas that I am going to clear after my BSc or after my MSc, I am going to clear those and those exams, or I am going to clear these exams. So that determination you should have. Then only it is helpful. That is the niyama, the one rule in the niyama, that is self-discipline. Then you want to learn, you want to do all these things, but still there will be some problems. That is called as yoga vignas, okay? Or it is also called as yogantarayas. You might say, sir, I know all these things, I want to do, but that starts. So Patanjali has given already, after that, but what all comes, okay? So one thing, first he will say, vyadhi. That means, sir, I want to do the practicals, but physically I have some problems, sir, I will not be able to do. Okay. Another one is sthana. Sthana is the lack of interest or enthusiasm. Sir, I want to do, but what we will do, sir, for doing this? It is of no use, sir. That lack of interest. Then samshaya. Samshaya is doubt. That means, sir, whether this teacher is doing it properly or not, I have a doubt, sir. Then pramada, that means negligence. That means you don't want to do. Hey, let me bunk and go to some movie. That mentality. Okay. Then alasya, that is physical laziness. Madam has called me at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning to do the practicals. Ayo, who will get up at 7 o'clock? I will sleep by around 1 o'clock. Let me get up by 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. So this is alasya. Then avirati, desire for sense object. I want to do the practicals today. I want to, there is a different practical is there. But at the same time, there is a movie has released, a Hindi movie or Kannada movie or some other movie has released so let me see that one first. That is called avirati, desire for sense objects. And Bhranti Darshana, Alabdha Bhumikatva and Anavasitva, it is for yogis. So the first 6 is for the students and the people who wants to do yoga. These vignas will come. This is written 5,000 years back by Patanjali. That means these all the problems will come. You have to overcome that problem. That is what he says. How to overcome that problem? It is again a big topic. Some other day we will take. So, and one more thing, what you have done is, so this yama and niyama we have understood. Okay, that is social discipline and self-discipline. Once you follow these social discipline and self-discipline properly, naturally the mind enters into asana without any problem. That means you will adjust it to, you will go for the, that means asana doing, okay, and you will bend your body and you make your body very flexible, okay. So when you make your body very flexible, when you continue with the asanas, Patanjali says, tato dvandva anabhigataha. That means when you are perfect in asana, your duality in the mind will go, the confusion will go. So that is what he says, Patanjali says. Then after that, the pranayama, in pranayama what they do is, they concentrate on the breath and they do the breathing which will help you to control your mind. That is dharana sucha yogyata manasaha. That means it will maintain, it will help this one, it will help you to attain into dharana state. That means the concentration state. Then the 5th one is pratyahara. In pratyahara, the ahara what you take during your education, it should be very, very pure. That means in the Theranda Samhita, Chandogya Upanishad, they say that ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi, sattva shuddhau dhruva smritihi, smritilande sarva granthina vipramokshaha. When ahara is pure, okay, when ahara is pure, ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi, your character will become pure. Sattva shuddhihi. Sattva shuddhau Dhruva Smritihi. When your character becomes pure, your memory becomes constant. Dhruva Smritihi. Your memory becomes constant. Smriti Lambe Sarva Grantinam Vipramokshaha. When your memory becomes constant, so all the organs in the body will enter into the happiest state, and that means you will be healthy. So that laziness and all will not be there. So you will be healthy. So that is about the pratyahara. So after getting the control over the ahara, that is the food, definitely you can able to concentrate on anything. You might know when you in the morning, if you go at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock classes, it will be very easy to concentrate. But after 2 o'clock, if you sit for the theory class, means it is very difficult because of the ahara, what ahara we have taken. That's why usually what they do is after 2 o'clock, they keep a practical class, morning theory classes. Okay, so this is why, this is because of the ahara, dharana. So dharana, concentration can be achieved by after perfecting with the ahara. So after dharana, what happens is it leads to the jhana state. That means the concentration. That means dedication to that particular work. That means you will not have the time. You might have heard about Einstein. I think he was in the bank. Okay, he was with the checkbook with the pen. Okay, he was just thinking something. Then somebody he was standing there for 15 to 20 minutes. Then one of his friend he came and he told, "Hi, Einstein." Then finally, oh, my name is Einstein. Then he signed as Einstein and gave the check to the bank. So that is the dhyana state. That means when you enter into the dhyana state, you will not have time. You will not know who you are, but you will be on the work. So you will be thinking only on that. So that is helps you to dhyana state, which will help you to discover many other things. Like in the initial first slide, we showed that discovery is one of the important thing in the education. So that discovery can be done with when you enter into dharana and dhyana. Then finally, the salvation or the samadhi state, usually the enlightenment takes place, as I told you, the jnana chakshu. Jnana chakshu gets open. When the jnana chakshu gets open, the knowledge from the universe, it just enters into the mind or enters into the brain. You might know the great masters like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or Swami Vivekananda. You just talk anything with them, they will answer you. You ask anything, any question related to any subject, they will answer you. That type of knowledge you will get because of this Ashtanga Yoga if you do it properly. Okay, there are so many things. So one or two classes is not enough to explain all these things. I have just given a glimpse. Okay, so finally, Patabi Jois. Okay, Acharya Patabi Jois says yoga is for everyone. Okay, it is not for only for higher rich people or humanity, not for any other, not like religion. So that is what the Patabi Joy says. So let us be in the yogic path and attain get a very good knowledge and do something good to the whole world. Thank you, and I'll thank Indu Madam, I think, Indu Madam as also, and the Principal Madam, Anuradha Madam, for giving me a chance to talk on this particular topic, new topic. Also, I thank all the Padma Shri institution for calling me for this talk. Okay, finally I end my talk with this. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving us an insight and information on yoga and how it influences our brain. Anuradha ma'am, would you like to speak a few words, ma'am?
Yeah. Thank you, Rajesh. And you are not actually, I don't consider you as a guest speaker. I always consider you part of Padma Shri because whenever we are calling you, you are there for us. I really thank you, Rajesh, for giving such an nice introductory talk to the students. And I also wish If students have got any doubts or queries, they can ask. Before that, I just want you to tell at least one or two small practices every morning as soon as they get up, what they can do, for increasing focus or increasing concentration, or determining and making up their mind to achieve something, or to use the whole day for in a fruitful way. For that, if you can suggest them to do some 5 minutes, some breathing exercise or something to concentrate or to focus, because they are in that age, the age really very difficult. It is like a,
Yes.
our mind will be like an ocean, and it will be turbulent, and it is very difficult to control and balance. Who can take over this turbulence and who can really take the control over the mind at that particular age will really have a very peaceful and happy life. I don't say that successful life. Success is different. It is very you cannot say success for you may be different, and success for me may be different. The target for me may be different. The target for them may be different. Whatever the target is, whatever the success is, the success goal is, whatever the aim in our life is, we should be really calm, peaceful, and at the same time aggressive in doing the deeds. Whenever you feel like doing something, you have to achieve that. As soon as we get up in the morning, we might think that today I have to finish this, I have to finish that, and I have to do this, all that. But in between, some powerful thing from our mind will come for the postponement, or we may think that we will okay do it in the weekend, or we will postpone it. That will happen even in this age after so much of experience, that we should not do that. But in that age it is very difficult. I suggest you to at least do some practices, give 2 or 3 practices to them, so that it can help them. If you want to do it now, you can do it. Otherwise, we can schedule on some other day. It will be a practical session where you can tell them just the practices of yoga for achieving the concentration and balance and stability, whatever is required for that age.
Okay. One day we will have another schedule. Let me show some of the simple practices every day what they can practice. Okay. Till that time, what they can do is, first thing is early to bed and get up early. Okay. Or you should follow this, because now the people has changed their ways. Even with the Ayurveda also says that you should not woke up till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It affects your health. Okay, so try to go early to bed and get up early. That is the first thing they have to follow as students. And one more thing is, before starting the class, my suggestion is always go with the 3 Omkaras. Okay, so the Omkara will make your mind very calm. Don't think it is a religious thing. It is a universal sound. So it makes the mind very calm. So that, for example, if I had to give an example, means you might have seen in ECG. Okay, when you see ECG, you will get the graphs like this. So when it is in the linear, all those disturbances, that positive graph and the negative peaks, it will get nullified. That means the thoughts, whatever you have got from the home, whatever you got from the hostel, whatever you got from the outside, all those thoughts will get nullified by chanting that Omkara. So when that is nullified, so whatever the teacher easily, so that 2 practices definitely they can do for time being. And after that, one day we will schedule a class, so that we will show simple breathing practices as well as loosening practices, which they can follow every day, madam.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh. Even you can tell them about Trataka at that time when you are doing the next practical session.
Definitely.
I will take, and this practical session it is optional. There is no compulsion. Even 2 students are there also, we will do it. Because I want them to come voluntarily for this kind of sessions. It is not there in the curriculum, it is to help them. Please help us to help you. This is what I request all the student community. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you,
Thanks for accepting with a very short notice.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, dear students, let me come back to where I stopped in the morning session. Tomorrow onwards, you will be having lab safety practices workshop. This is both the curriculum, and as I told you, this is useful for your curriculum. At the same time, this is useful for you for really doing practicing the things, whether it is in the job or in your college when you come back to college. The remaining things, whatever I want to talk to you regarding the attendance, regarding all those things, I'll be talking to you on Saturday. Tomorrow, there is one session from my side. I will be giving you an introductory talk about the laboratory safety practices. Later, we will be proceeding with the workshop. Apart from this, there are students who might be thinking that when our regular sessions will start, your regular sessions will start as soon as we get a nod from Bangalore University. They have extended the admission date till October 31st, and they still extended it till November 7th. But we cannot start the regular sessions without the permission of Bangalore University. I will let you know about this on Saturday. But till then, I feel the foundation course will definitely help you, and we will be starting with a foundation course. You can consider that this workshop is a foundation workshop, what we are giving for your laboratory skills and practical skills that we will be starting from tomorrow. Okay, have a nice day, children, and hope you enjoyed the session. And we can have several such sessions even from your side. Maybe your father or your uncle or your known person who is good in training, giving personality development or skill development training, and also some other soft skills. You can always introduce to us. We can send an invitation from our side to them so that they can give such sessions to you to carve your future in a better way. Thank you for being patient because of the disturbances in between, but still I feel this will be there as the technology what we are adapting is not currently, because all of us are sitting at different places and everything should come in tandem, and that takes little time, but hope we can have a fruitful beginning sessions, whatever we are trying to give it to you. And any feedback regarding this is wonderful. And we are going to share a feedback form. You have to fill up the feedback form, then only you'll be getting a certificate for the tomorrow's workshop. For this workshop, I will discuss with our people whether we can give a certificate for this workshop also. We will try to give the soft copy of the, send the soft copy of the certificate. Thank you. Have a nice day. Actually, you can end. Or anybody wants to talk anything, you can share your views, teachers or students, either about today's program or about tomorrow's workshop.
I think there is one question from Mugdha Hegde, ma'am.
Yeah.
Akshay sir, can you please unmute Mugdha Hegde? Yes, go ahead, Mugdha.
Rajesh ಅವರು ಇದ್ದಾರಾ ಇನ್ನು ಅಕ್ಷಯ್?
No, ma'am.
I will try to answer, otherwise we'll pass it on to Rajesh. Please, you can ask your question, Mugdha.
Okay, she has put in the chat box. She is asking, will the college start from November 17th?
That is what university is talking about. But college, when we are starting, we will be sending one consent form. In that consent form, you have to fill up whether you need to come and attend the classes offline or you are okay with the online classes. Because initially, as I told you, till everything gets settled, we will be doing both offline and online classes. We will not start practicals immediately. That's what as Padma Shri Management and Padma Shri College has decided. Because as soon as you open it up, we have students from North India, we have students from many other places. It might be little difficult immediately to start with the offline classes. Difficulty is not for the college, difficulty is for the students. That is why we thought of starting the college from November 17th, but you will have both options, whether you can choose offline or online. If you choose offline, maybe you have to come to college. That also, once we take the consent from the students, we will be consolidating it. For example, in your section, if you have 25 students who took admission in particular section, out of 25, one or two students say that we want to come offline. All others opt for online. At that time, we cannot, for two students' sake, we cannot start with offline classes. Definitely, we will ask them also to go ahead with online classes. If there is 50% of the students, if they want to come for offline classes also, same lecture will be webcasted to you wherever you are. If you don't want to come to college taking risk, it is up to you. And that particular thing we will be distributing to you. We will be sending a consent letter. We need to get the answers from you. After that, we will consolidate and see how many students are willing to come, and still admissions are happening with a much more vigorous way. And all those people will be, because Bangalore University has extended admission date till November 9th. But we don't wanted you to just idle yourself. This is the preparatory sessions what we are giving to come out with a make up your mind to pursue this particular courses in life sciences or in food sciences, whatever it is. Mugdha, I think I am clear. I think you understood what I mean. We will be formulating that shortly. We'll be sending to you shortly.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more participants or any students who are having any doubts?
If there are no doubts, you can end the session, Liti. You can end the session.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for spending your precious time with us and for your constant support and guidance and providing encouragement. I thank all my colleagues and participants. Though there was a glitch,